alive. King low.
Yeah. Donuts USG, by the way. We saw that, surgical rotation cutting right down into the middle of everyone into that deep gully. That has rewarded them heavily as they have split up into a 1-3 split. HVVP used to have that compound, but they were so split they could not, assert any presence. So now USG will be taking the compound and that prime position right here out of Missile.
Can Missile hold out on this spot before Godlike Stalwart get there? Can they regroup to it, or do they even want to at this stage? They know everyone's going to be looking their way. Senke, Lone Ranger for 1 million. In comes the regroup. They are trying to go for this crash across the field, and it looks like it is going to work out. Two of them make it to some divots. Nova might still have vision. They're going to be able to get into cover. Order suppressed. Here comes Power as well with their two players. The bus goes up, but they've already made that crossing. They've already made that dash. What more can you find?
That was very risky, but maybe necessary because they lost that zone at the compound. That one bus really making it there was huge for Donuts. That could have been the game-winning play or the game-losing play, but it works for now. But there's still a 4-man of Stalwarts that everybody needs to be wary of.
All they need is that little opener onto Missile, and then they can move in through that valley, take control of a lot of this map. King actually tickled by the play zone, more than that as well, gets knocked by it. Paraboy answers with the off angle and will be able to take down the player. Donuts USG acting as a backstop. Kante has moved into a position where he has shots underneath this bus, and that is going to leave Donuts USG as with a real sore one to wake up to there. 5 teams remain, and Zone 9's closing in 5 seconds.
Missile, meanwhile, manning a one-man defense against the entirety of STE. I think I saw a double knock with the Molly in the elimination feed. Now Nova has a really good chance to spring up as Stalwart is preoccupied with Missile, and Order, once again, with those util, they're looking up over. Lufa gets a nice knock onto King, though. That's going to slow things down. Order needs to hit those, doesn't get it, but another player will pick that up. Nova down to 2, maybe get a revive, and Stalwart's with 3 players up still.
Finally moving them aside. Godlike Stalwart, 3 players, as you say, still trucking into the circle. Everybody's going to have to move forwards, out into the open ground. I feel like Power and Nova are at a disadvantage in this scenario at this stage. 3 players alive for them. Godlike Stalwart can start to exert control over these sightlines, but Nova have swung down and actually moved into a favorable position. Power swept aside, and Nova looking to reclaim their position in those top 3 and challenge once again towards those top spots as one player's down. Scry is there. Action needs to stand tall, but they can't find the answer onto Paraboy as he fades away with the shots. Just Action remains, and he's in the sightlines of Order. You do not survive long there. And it is going to be Nova taking the chicken dinner.
That was... If you rewind that game from the beginning, that was not an easy game whatsoever. Nova made their first rotation very, very far up to the northeast, and the zone constantly shifted down to the southwest, completely opposite of where they started from, and they just worked their way into so many numerous tough positions, but they pulled through. I think that is a sign of a back-to-back world championship team. I think only someone of their caliber can manage to get the win started.